Welcome to MY Podcast. This is Mohammad Yazdanfard, and I'm glad to have you back. I hope you found episode 2 helpful, where I shared my study system. Today, we're moving forward to discuss another crucial aspect of life, our work life system. In this episode, I'll give you an inside look at how I manage my time and maintain balance between work and personal life. I'll share what works for me and how I've tailored my routine to fit my unique circumstances. Before we dive in, I want to stress that my work life system is designed specifically for me. It's not a one size fits all solution. Everyone's situation is different, and various factors like your job, interests, working days, working hours, and lots of other things play a role in shaping your system. Some people thrive with structure, while others find freedom in flexibility. A key takeaway from this episode, as with my study system, is that flexibility is vital. Any successful system needs to adapt to your evolving life. The way I do things may not suit you, and that's perfectly okay. What's important is finding what does work for you and being willing to adjust it as needed. So, why am I sharing my work life system? Well, like many of you, I've struggled with time management, whether it's balancing work, studies, or both. It's not easy, but having a structured approach, knowing what activities to do each day and when and where to do them can make all the difference. Structure, whether in studying or work life balance, is key to staying on track. If you haven't listened to episode 2 yet, I highly recommend it. The insights from that episode will complement today's discussion and help you build a more holistic time management system. Now, let's get us started on this journey to finding balance in our work life routines. First, let me clarify that the system I'm about to share reflects my current life stage. As life changes, so must our routines. For now, my work life system follows a daily rhythm with specific activities split into two sets of days: Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays in the first set, and Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the second. Fridays and holidays are generally reserved for rest, though sometimes work creeps in, like, for example, workshop, classes, or some other things, and I have to work on holidays and Fridays, and that's pretty natural. But as I mentioned, flexibility is essential. Now, on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, the days in the first set, I wake up around 5:30 a.m. My day starts with meditation, 10 to 20 minutes of centering myself. And I'd love to meditate longer, but this time frame works for me right now. I don't have much time, more time in the morning when I wake up. After meditation, I head to the gym and get to the gym by 6:15, where I stay and work out until about 7:30 a.m. Once I'm back home, I take a shower, and by 8 a.m., my wife and I leave for our office, where we have breakfast. usually the first thing when we get to our office. I then sit at my desk, open my laptop, and set the day's priorities. I focus on three major tasks every week. I'm a big believer in the power of the big three, but it doesn't mean that every day I am focused on three tasks. You know, on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, the days in the first set, I usually focus on just two of the tasks on my list. My primary tasks on these days are centered on group classes and workshops, task one, and managing my Instagram and Telegram accounts, task two. Once my tasks are set, I'm ready to tackle the day. I start by checking emails and social media. And by social media, I mean Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, but only to prepare for the day. I limit my use of these platforms to business purposes during the day. I mean, no scrolling for fun. This is a rule. This is an important rule. If I use Telegram, if I look at my WhatsApp or Instagram, I do this to send homework assignments to students, or for example, inform workshops participants, or for example, check out a post on my Instagram page and handle other similar tasks. You know, I really dislike looking at my Telegram, Instagram during the day again and again just for fun. There is nothing wrong with having fun, but what is the point of looking at our social media apps again and again? I think it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of lots of other things. Okay, I think I should calm down. Another inseparable part of my morning routine is reviewing my schedule to see how many classes I have, for example, check on any workshops, and I also look at the calendar for any appointments or meetings. I get prepared for my classes, I prepare my class lists, and I get ready for everything, anything uh, during the day. You know, and my morning routine usually takes around 30 to 40 minutes. Then I have a clear view of the day ahead and the things I need to do, I'm gonna do. And this way, I am fully prepared for everything, anything. And I think morning tasks, morning activities uh, need to be done in the morning. I don't like mixing morning activities with, for example, afternoon activities. I believe that specific tasks, activities need to be done at specific times in specific places, preferably. And I am a firm believer in this approach, this system. In the morning, I usually have two classes, one at 10 a.m. and another one at 11:30. So before my classes and between classes, my classes in the morning, I work on the tasks on the list. Task one, group classes and workshops. Task two, uh, my Instagram and Telegram accounts. And after my second class ends at 12:30 p.m., I take a break for lunch, catching up on any unfinished tasks. And this usually takes until around 1:30 p.m. Then I get back to my tasks until about 2 p.m., sometimes extending this time as needed, because as I have said many times, flexibility is really important. And From 2 to 4 p.m., I dedicate time to studying, following the study system I discussed in episode 2. So if you haven't listened to episode 2, you should do it now. Because as I said, episode 3 will complement episode 2. Okay, so from 2 to 4 p.m., I dedicate time to studying. After that, I have usually 3 more classes. I'm talking about my afternoon and evening classes. One from 4 to 5 p.m., another one from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m., and the last one from 7 to 8. And between these classes, I continue with my studies. I study different materials, different things, according to my study system. After 8 p.m., my wife and I either visit family and friends, or go shopping, or unwind with a movie, or do some other things. When I'm home, I also try to practice foreign languages, particularly Spanish. I am passionate about learning and teaching the English language, but I am interested in learning other languages too, such as Spanish, French, Italian. But I do them, I learn them as a hobby. And let me tell you again, English has got a special place in my life, in my heart. And when I'm done, for example, learning Spanish a little, I aim to be in bed by 11:15 p.m. to recharge for the next day, to get ready for the next day. Now we're done with the days in the first set. So let's talk about the second set of days: Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And while these days share some similarities with the first set, there are differences that help maintain a balanced rhythm throughout the week. On these days, since I don't go to the gym, I allow myself to wake up a bit later. I wake up around 6:15 in the morning. My day starts with the usual meditation, setting the tone for a focused and calm day. I highly recommend you do meditation, even for 5 minutes a day. After meditation, I take a shower, get dressed, and by 7:15, my wife and I head to our office. We start, as usual, with breakfast, and then I dive into my morning routine, setting my daily tasks. And now you know about my morning routine. On these days, on the days in the second set, I focus on two other main, important, big work-related tasks. Task one, uh, anything related to my podcast, MY podcast, the very podcast you're listening to right now. And task two, managing my Instagram and Telegram accounts. While Instagram and Telegram are consistent across all days, podcast related tasks, podcast related things are specific to Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. However, my system isn't rigid. Sometimes I handle podcast tasks on other days, and that's okay. That's perfectly okay. Flexibility remains key. I have talked about the importance of flexibility many times in episode 2 and now in episode 3. After setting my tasks, as you know, I check my email, social media again. Uh, Same as what I do on the days in the first set. I mean, my morning routine is the same on the days in the first set and on the days in the second set. And as you know, then I look at my calendar and schedule and get prepared for my classes, prepare my class lists. Sometimes I send some materials, some important things to my students, or I do some work related to the workshops I am going to do in the future, and I get ready for the day ahead. And as I said earlier, my morning routine takes around 30 to 40 minutes. And when I am done, I am done with my morning routine. It means now I should focus on some other important task or some other things which are important in my life. I don't like mixing, as I mentioned earlier, different activities. Um, Morning activities should be done in the morning. And as I said, usually I have two classes in the morning, two morning classes, one at 10 a.m. and another one at 11:30. Before my first class, between my classes, morning classes, I focus on the two important tasks specific to the days on the in the second set, on the days in the second set. And my second class ends at 12:30. And at 12:30 p.m., I take a break for lunch and catch up on any tasks that need finishing. I get back to work-related tasks between 1:30 and 2 p.m. And sometimes I have to continue working on these tasks until 2:30, 2:45, or even 3. That's absolutely fine. We ought to take it easy. From 2 to 4 p.m., again, I, as every day, I dedicate time to studying, following the study system I outlined in episode 2. Then I have 3 classes in the afternoon and in the evening, wrapping up my workday by 8 p.m. After 8 p.m., again, I unwind similarly to the other days, shopping, connecting with family and friends, and sometimes practicing the guitar, of which I've recently taken up again. You know, on the days in the second set, when I get home after 8 p.m., I usually practice the guitar. And again, I do this as a form of hobby, just to have fun, just to make my life more colorful and to pour color into my life. And I haven't taken practicing the guitar seriously. I might quit it any day now. I don't want to be a perfectionist. Now I'm enjoying practicing the guitar on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, just for fun. And at home, usually, sometimes in my office, as I said, we should take it easy, and just for fun, just to make my life more beautiful. Okay, enough is enough of practicing the guitar and learning the guitar. And since I hit the gym the next day, I mean on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, and since I need to wake up early at 5:30 on Saturdays, Mondays, and Wednesdays, on the days in the second set, I aim for an earlier bedtime. around I usually 10:30 p.m. I usually go to bed around 10:30 p.m., sometimes 10:40 p.m. And now we're done with the days in the second set. Let's talk about Fridays and holidays. I mean, finally, let's discuss Fridays and holidays. These are usually my rest days, a time to recharge both physically and mentally. We might handle, by we, I mean my wife and I, might handle some household tasks, for example. We might, for example, clean our home or do some household chores. For example, clean up our office, do some stuff in our office. But the focus is on relaxation, whether that's going on to the countryside, dining out, or spending quality time with loved ones. That said, there are times when work calls on these days, like, for example, holding workshops or classes. And that's okay, that's absolutely fine. But I generally try to avoid work and even studying on Fridays and holidays to maintain that essential balance. Taking breaks, as I mentioned in episode 2, helps create a longing for my work and study, which I believe is very important. Remember, the system I've shared works for me, but it might not be for everyone. Our needs and circumstances are always changing, and I might even change my own system in the future. What's important is finding what suits you best, and adapting as needed. Some people thrive without a system, and that's perfectly fine. But I believe having a system, knowing how to manage your time can save you mental energy and prevent decision fatigue. It frees your mind for other things, giving you the freedom to enjoy life more. I hope you found today's episode helpful. Feel free to take what resonates with you and leave the rest. The key is to enjoy life and find a rhythm that works for you. Some might think living by a system makes you robotic, but for me, it's the opposite. My routines give me freedom, not restrictions. So, here is to finding balance, enjoying life, and staying disciplined if it suits you. Have a great day, and I wish you all the best.